Update 25 is bringing some new strategic considerations to the way that you play State of Decay 2.
Here?
All right.
This dev diary is brought to you by delicious, refreshing water. Players have long been asking for a way to make Outposts more powerful and to be able to diversify their base strategy by having more different options for bringing in resources like food.
When I first started playing State of Decay 2, Outposts were actually one of the more disappointing experiences for me because you just claim them and you can drop your stuff off there. Resource outposts are now upgradable, which means you'll be able to collect more resources than before. Players already kind of know that outposts are there for resource collection, so why not just make the upgrades also tied to increasing that output?
You have these outposts that are now actually really valuable. They give you more resources. It's a progressive thing as you're like upgrading them over time.
If we gave players ways to generate that income outside of their base, then maybe they would actually use their different facilities at their base that are outside of the current essential strategies that we see very often in play.
It lets players kind of move some of that to the outposts, and it opens up opportunities to try new things at the base.
Another goal we had on the design team was to try and make each map feel more like a unique experience. For example, we want to make playing on Meager Valley feel very different from playing on Providence Ridge. Landmark outposts we saw as a way of using these unique locations to their fullest potential by providing the player with something different they could only get on that map. We chose our locations for these very carefully because we wanted to pick places that were visually unique. When you think of a landmark, you do think of something visually iconic that kind of defines the area, like how in Seattle we have the Space Needle. That's a landmark on itself. I would outpost the Seattle Space Needle if I had the chance, honestly.
Plague Territory makes your strategic choices in State of Decay 2 a lot more meaningful.
The original intent behind the Plague Hearts was to make them that like kind of sense of purpose, especially mid-game. The problem was there wasn't really actually much of a reason for you to kill the Plague Hearts. We had this idea that they'd be this mid-game kind of like boss and like thing that you were trying to eradicate, but in practice we never gave the player a reason why.
One thing that Plague Territory does is it says, this part of the map is controlled by the enemy. This part of the map belongs to you. Don't you want to have the rest of the map?
They really do need to take the map back from the Plague.
One of the most fun parts of State of Decay 2 is taking on challenges that you're really not prepared for yet.
In my experience, some of the playtests I've had, I saw an outpost I really wanted. It was within Plague Territory, but I wasn't sure if I was ready to take out a Plague Heart. So it kind of provided this like really nice, like hard decision for me to make. Do I want the cheaper outpost that's within Plague Territory, or try to spend all the resources that I currently have on upgrading my existing outpost?
A lot of the most fun and exciting moments of the game come from that sense of uncertainty that I don't know if I'm gonna make it, but I'm gonna try it anyway. My successes feel better because I'm tackling them earlier.
It's not the game telling you to do this thing, you want to do it. Like, this is something you've chosen to do because it's obvious to you that it's an enemy that needs to be defeated. And now it's a very much more kind of progression-oriented game.
One of the most hotly anticipated features that we've ever put in this game is sidearm swapping. Our new sidearm swapping feature means you don't have to dig into your backpack every time you need a new weapon. When you run out of bullets, you want to switch right away. That's what the sidearm switching feature lets you do. You queue up 2 different weapons that you want to have access to, and then you can switch between them on the fly. So now when you're tackling a Plague Heart, you can bring that giant 50 cal to deal with the heart, but still have a shotgun in your back pocket from when a feral starts charging you. There's so many different choices you have at your disposal now. I'm really looking forward to seeing what players try.
I'm excited to see the different ways in which players tackle these things.
And make sure you read the patch notes because we have barely scratched the surface of what's going into Update 25.
Thank you for playing and happy Pride.